The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. BPL claims unity at the power company as they've met. Officials meet with Bahamas Grid Company amid tensions. Mixed signals on the Grand Lukai and just where do things stand with the resort. And in our discussion, we are talking with the head of the Consultant Physician Staff Association. Just how bad are things at PMH and the public health system? We'll get into that this morning. That's all ahead. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, DeQuesta Dean will be joining us. Also this morning, we are getting a preview of the RFBEO conference coming up in just a few days. We'll tell you what you need to know to be a part of it. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, after concrete evidence of relationship disharmony with Bahamas Grid Company and Bahamas Power and Light, BPL saying on Monday that it's committed to a seamless working relationship with the entity that now has possession of the energy transmission and distribution network on New Providence. Those tensions boiled over on the weekend during an island-wide blackout in New Providence, with BGC informing in a Facebook post that BPL had denied it access to the New Providence Control Center. That post raised concerns in some circles that the friction between BPL and BGC had either exacerbated the blackout or extended the period of outage. Well, BGC is a company created to facilitate Pike Corporation's arrangement with the government of the Bahamas to upgrade the T&D network, upgrade and manage that, but the details of that arrangement remain opaque because the Davis administration has refused to make the deal public. Monday, BPL said the two companies met earlier in the day to discuss the matter and chart the way forward in unity. BPL said it, quote, remains committed to a seamless working relationship with Bahamas Grid Company to ensure that all Bahamians have access to a reliable power supply. It also said, quote, we will continue to facilitate all to ensure that our collaborative efforts prioritize efficiency and progress while servicing our valued consumers in New Providence. That statement, made after the NASA Guardian reported on the intensifying conflict between the two companies, as evidenced by BGC's social media post distancing itself from blame during the New Providence power cut, a post it later deleted. West Grand Bahama and Bimini MP Kingsley Smith, the parliamentary secretary of the Ministry of Grand Bahama, appearing to contradict Prime Minister Philip Davis on the status of the sale of the Grand Lukai Resort on Grand Bahama. On Sunday, Davis told reporters that the resort was sold, but Smith said the hotel transaction did not happen as yet. Both men spoke outside the PLP headquarters after the candidates committee ratified the party's final 13 candidates for the next. Last May, the government said it agreed to sell the troubled resort to U.S. developer Concord Wilshire for $120. Since then, there's been $120 million. Since then, there's been no confirmation on whether the sale was finalized and no developments at the resort. When asked about the resort, Davis said, quote, the hotel's been sold and the owner's working his plans. We are waiting for him to come back to us with those plans. But Smith, who was ratified for West Grand Bahama, telling the media that the PLP has done a lot for Grand Bahama in its 4 years in office. And, quote, people may say that just because the hotel transaction did not happen at this time and progress is moving at the airport, they will use that as if nothing is happening. After the upcoming general election, Prime Minister Philip Davis insisted that he's not opposed to the implementation of fixed election dates. His comments coming after years of unfulfilled promises from leadership of both. Davis saying, quote, "I have no objection to fixed election dates. I don't, but we are in the season now where it is not so, and as soon as we fix that, it will be good." He would introduce a fixed election date if successful at the polls. Davis said, quote, "That'll be something for me to consider." Prosecutors charging a man and woman in connection with a $2.8 million cocaine seizure on South Bimini last month. 24-year-old Malachi Baisden and 41-year-old Marie Chenoweth, both of South Bimini, pleaded not guilty to charges of possession of dangerous drugs with intent to supply and conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with intent to supply at their arraignment before Senior Magistrate Raquel Wims. The charges stemmed from the discovery of 139 kilos of cocaine on January 21st. Law enforcement officers allegedly saw men, and the men fled in a truck as the officers approached. The officers allegedly found the cocaine while searching the boat and nearby bushes. The prosecutor, Sergeant Mark Wilkinson, did not object to bail. Wims set bail at $50,000 for each accused, but later doubled the bail sum after deciding it was too low. As a condition of bail, the accused will have to surrender their passports, wear ankle bracelets, and sign in at the Allenstown Police Station twice weekly. Their trial is scheduled for May 27th and 28th. And a 24-year-old man sentenced to 5 years imprisonment after police found a high-powered rifle, hundreds of rounds of magazines in a car. Dre Harvey will spend an additional year in prison if he doesn't pay a $10,000 fine before he completes his sentence. Harvey pleaded guilty to possession of a prohibited weapon, possession of ammunition with intent to supply, and possession of firearm components at his arraignment before Magistrate Lennox Colby Sr. The prosecutor, Corporal Charlene Johnson, said the officers attached to the Black Scorpion unit, executed a search warrant on Harvey's home on January 28th. The officers didn't find anything illegal in the house. However, while searching a Toyota in the front of the home, they found the rifle, 327 rounds of ammunition of assorted caliber, and 8 magazines. And a man accused of stealing from 2 prominent doctors while trespassing on their properties has been remanded to prison. Prosecutors allege that 34-year-old Brunaro Moxie of Gibbs Corner went on a crime spree between November and January, and that Dr. Dane Bowe and F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands were among his victims. On November 8, 2025, Moxie is accused of stealing a Microsoft laptop, a checkbook from Sands' Eastern Road property. On January 18th at around 4:30 a.m., he allegedly stole 3 solar lights from Bowe's property on Harmony Hill. On January 2nd, he allegedly stole 2 sets of boat keys and a certificate of registration with a value of $36 from Natasha Johnson's property on Commonwealth Avenue. And on January 23rd, he's accused of stealing 5 pairs of tennis shoes worth $385 from a property in Blair. Then on January 4th, he allegedly stole a gym bag, a pair of boots, and an ankle strap from a Dix Point property. And on the same date, he allegedly stole a driver's license, port license, 3 debit cards, and an insurance certificate from a Manchester Street property. Moxie denied the allegation of stealing at his arraignment before Senior Magistrate Anishka Isaacs. The prosecutor, Inspector Timothy Bailey, objected to bail as Moxie has recent convictions for similar matters. His trial is set for March 17th. Overseas, Russia fired around 450 long-range drones and 70 missiles of various types at Ukraine in a major attack overnight. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirming this today. The barrage coming as NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte visited Kyiv in a show of support, and a day before Russia and Ukraine were due to attend U.S.-brokered talks in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Those talks on ending the all-out war, which Russia launched nearly 4 years ago. The bombardment of Ukraine specifically took aim at the power grid. Zelensky says it's part of Moscow's ongoing campaign to deny civilians light, heating, and running water on the coldest winter in years. At least 10 people were wounded. Zelensky's urging allies to send more air defense supplies and bring maximum pressure to bear on Russia to end its full-scale invasion, which began on February 24th, 2022. Officials have described the recent talks between Moscow and Kyiv delegations as constructive. The Trump administration is still searching for a breakthrough on key issues such as who keeps the Ukrainian land that Russia's army has occupied, and a comprehensive settlement appears distant. The Abu Dhabi talks were scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday. And Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum announcing that she plans to send humanitarian aid to Cuba this week, including food and other humanitarian aid. Sheinbaum's comments coming after U.S. President Donald Trump said he asked the Mexican leader to suspend oil shipments to the Caribbean island. Sheinbaum saying at a public event in the northern state of Sonora on Sunday that she did not discuss Cuban affairs in a phone conversation with Trump on Thursday. She said that her government seeks to diplomatically solve everything related to the oil shipments to Cuba for humanitarian reasons. Earlier, Trump told reporters that he told the Mexican president not to send oil to Cuba. In sports, the Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools basketball playoffs are off and running, and once again, the St. John's College Giants are taking charge. 3 of 4 titles in BAISS 2 years back-to-back got an early start to championship glory once again, placing 2 teams in the finals on Monday. Their senior boys remained undefeated this season, beating Queens College Comets 67-59 in their sudden death playoff game to close out the day's proceedings. In the senior girls game on Monday, the pennant winning 2-12. In the junior girls game on Monday, the Comets defeated the St. Augustine's College Big Red Machine 40-14. However, the Giants missed a chance to place 3 teams in the championships on Monday as their junior boys were disqualified for the use of an illegal player. According to reports, the player was not a student in the school for the entire school year. He reportedly started attending the school in October 2025, therefore missed. More on that, though, in today's Guardian Sports section. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture has joined forces with the Ministry of Education and Vocational Training to forge a new pathway to the highly anticipated all-inclusive Frank Pancho-Ramming All-Schools National Track and Field Championships, scheduled for April 13th through 17th here in New Providence. So that means the primary school and high school combined into one mega event set to run across 5 days post-CRIFTA. The journey to the school nationals will include detours across various family islands as both ministries have collaborated to introduce track and field regionals. The initiative aims to provide opportunities and exposure for more student athletes while introducing a qualification system for the school nationals. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, brought to you by Star General, we've got a high-pressure system centered near the Florida Panhandle that's extending a surface ridge across the Bahamas, maintaining stable and generally dry conditions. Moderate to locally fresh winds and cooler temperatures will persist, while the high will draw in Atlantic moisture, supporting increased. So for today, due to the low overall temperatures, everyone's being advised to take precautions for themselves, pets, elderly persons, and small children, especially in the northern and northwest Bahamas. And there is a high risk of dangerous, life-threatening rip currents and rough surf along all windward and Atlantic shorelines. Overtopping waves, sea spray, and coastal debris may continue to impact northern and western roadways. So everyone's being advised to exercise caution. Your forecast for today for the northern, cloudy to cloudy through tonight. Less than a 10% chance of showers. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. East Bahamas mostly cloudy today through tonight. A 10 to 20% chance of light showers. Winds northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots. settling to easterly by nightfall for the Central Islands, or northeast to east by nightfall for the southeastern islands. Temperatures today gradually getting a little bit warmer. We're looking at highs in the extreme northern islands like Grand Bahama in the mid-60s today, around 18 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight for the northern island, low to mid-50s, around 13-14 Celsius. For the rest of the Northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, look for highs in the mid to upper 60s, around 67, 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the upper 50s, low 60s, around 15, 16 Celsius. Warmer still for the central and southeast Bahamas, highs in the low to mid 70s, 24 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the mid 60s for the central islands, around 18, 19 Celsius, and the mid to upper 60s for the southeastern Bahamas, around 20, 21 Celsius. That's your first look at weather. More coming up, and tell you about another cold front that's coming in. All of that coming up in your next weather check. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple. You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking for vibe? The Tourism Development Corporation invites you to Bites on Bay Food Truck Pop-Up, a celebration of food, culture, and community. Happening Saturday, February 7th, 2026, from 12 noon to 8 p.m. at the corner of Bay Street and Elizabeth Avenue. Enjoy free entry, delicious food trucks, live entertainment, a high-energy Junkanoo rush out, and free caricatures for the whole family. Come hungry, come early. Bites on Bay, presented by the Tourism Development Corporation.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest. Janae Aiko, Ludacris, Ashanti, Nelly, Glorilla, LMA, Maya, Joe, D Nice and Friends, featuring SWV, Donnell Jones, Case, Sunshine Anderson, and Kenny Burns, the Isley Brothers, El DeBarge, Stephanie Mills, and so many more. March 7th and 8th, Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets and info at jazzinthegardens.com. Jazzinthegardens.com.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Get ready for the biggest football game of the year, Super Bowl 60. We have the best seat in the house for you. Join Star 106.5 All-Star Team live at Anthony's on Paradise Island on Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th from 2 to 6 p.m. Enjoy giant screens, delicious fun food, ice-cold Collect Bear specials, prizes and surprises non-stop. It's the place to be for Super Bowl Sunday. Anthony's on Paradise Island. Watch the Patriots take on the Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
The Star 106.5 All-Star Team will be there to cheer you on from 2 to 6 p.m. It's the biggest Sunday of the year for the biggest game of the year, Super Bowl 60, live at Anthony's on Paradise Island. Don't miss it.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Duquesa Dean. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Good to have you with us.
It's wonderful to be here.
First Tuesday
Happy Tuesday,
in February.
Yeah, first Tuesday. We're already in February.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know. Is it like, does the time go faster as you get older?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
why?
I don't know. But also, it's getting worse because of all these devices and stuff that we remember. When was the last time you were actually bored?
Good question.
Yeah. It hardly happens.
Yeah.
You've got always something to occupy your time. All right? You went to look for one thing online and you end up on
Right.
Instagram or YouTube or whatever for 5 hours.
Right.
And so, yeah, this is shortening our lives. But anyway, glad to be spending time with you. And all of you listening with us as well. We've got a lot to talk about on this Tuesday morning. Coming up, we're going to be talking with the Consultant Physicians Staff Association. They're making news again with the president announcing that we're on the brink when it comes to the healthcare system in the country. We're going to get into that this morning. Just how bad is it? And later in business, we're talking with RF about their Bahamas Economic Conference and Bahamas Economic Outlook Conference. We're going to get details about that. If you need to register, we'll tell you what you need to do before the time runs out. So that's all ahead, but we've got a lot to talk about this morning, as usual, in the news. And in the news, quite a bit to get to. We're going to get through this throughout the show today, spreading it out. We'll get to the mixed signals on the Grand Lucayan. The Prime Minister saying one thing and the one of the MPs for Grand Bahama saying something very different. And what does it mean?
Interesting.
What does it mean? The Prime Minister also talking about fixed election dates. Some very interesting words coming out of his mouth. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. But what the big story is BPL claims unity at power company. This is after what we talked about yesterday with Bahamas Grid saying, hey, we don't know what that island-wide blackout was on the weekend, and BPL wouldn't let us in, literally. So our Candia Dame's following up with that today. So after concrete evidence of relationship disharmony with Bahamas Grid Company, BGC, and Bahamas Power and Light, BPL saying on Monday evening that it is committed to a seamless working relationship with the entity that the Energy Transmission and Distribution Network on New Providence. Those tensions boiled over on the weekend during an island-wide blackout, with BGC informing in a Facebook post that BPL had denied it access to the New Providence Control Center. That post raised concerns in some circles that the friction between BPL and BGC had either exacerbated the blackout or extended the period of outage. So BGC, as you know, is the company created by Pike to facilitate Pike's arrangement with the government to upgrade and manage the transmission and distribution network. But the details of that arrangement remain very unclear because the Davis administration has refused to make the deal public. In its Monday statement, BPL said the two companies met earlier in the day to discuss the matter and, quote, chart the way forward in unity. BPL said it remained committed to a seamless working relationship with Bahamas Grid Company to ensure that all Bahamians have access to a reliable power supply. It said, quote, we will continue to facilitate all necessary steps required to ensure that our collaborative efforts prioritize efficiency and progress while servicing our valued consumers in New Providence. The statement was made after the Nassau Guardian reported yesterday on the intensifying conflict between the two companies, as evidenced in BGC's social media post distancing itself from blame during the New Providence power cut. BPL saying, quote, BPL is aware of a social media post published by BGC on February 1st, which was eventually deleted. Our meeting today was productive. We clarified matters and remain committed to the overall goal of servicing Bahamians together. We've chosen not to engage in public discourse regarding this issue, and wish only to clarify that BPL enforces strict protocols for accessing our secured areas. We are committed to upholding these standards to ensure that all procedures are properly followed when entering restricted spaces. Compliance with these policies is mandatory for all employees and visitors. The management and staff at BPL are committed to ensuring secure access for BGC personnel as we continue to foster ongoing collaboration. Want me to read that again? This is very interesting. We have chosen not to engage in a public discourse regarding this issue and wish only to clarify that BPL enforces strict protocols for accessing our secured areas. We are committed to upholding these standards to ensure that all procedures are properly followed when entering restricted spaces. Compliance with these policies is mandatory for all employees and visitors. I'm sure they get lots of visitors coming in there. Okay. The management and staff at BPL are committed to ensuring secure access for BGC personnel as we continue to foster ongoing collaboration. Well, now, while individuals close to the matters connected to BPL have characterized the relationship as anything but stable, BPL claimed that its partnership with BGC remains strong, with both organizations dedicated to launching a new energy era for the Bahamas and Bahamians, bringing enhanced reliability and resilience to power generation in New Providence. It's unknown whether the Monday meeting will truly be enough to smooth things over between the two entities moving forward. The social media post by BGC was widely viewed as a clear sign that the company is frustrated in its dealings with BPL. They just start.
Right.
It just started.
Exactly.
Ain't seen nothing yet. Anyway, BGC said in that Sunday post, as we told you yesterday, quote, as for your questions on restoration timing and why the power went out so extensively, like many of you, we are also trying to find out more information from BPL right now. Unfortunately, for reasons unknown to BGC, the BGC team had been denied access to the New Providence Control Center by BPL management since last week, January 27th, despite it being BGC's contractual right to jointly manage the control center. Well, so you say. We haven't seen the contract to know that for sure, but so you say.
Right.
Although we believe you. So again, this is the statement from that they deleted eventually. As a result, only BPL was in the control center Saturday night to be able to try to assess and mitigate the outage effects in New Providence. Yeah. So Minister of Energy and Transport Jo Beth Colby Davis previously told Parliament the new structure for BPL follows a widely adopted model in the energy industry where ownership and operation of grid assets are managed separately from retail and generation functions to improve operation efficiency and system. She said that under a joint venture partnership, the government will own 40% of the shares in Bahamas Grid Company and Island Grid Solutions. Pike Corporation's Bahamian Management Company will own 60%. All right, so very interesting statement there. What do you make of it, folks? What do you make of what's going on? What's going on here? And we spoke a lot about this yesterday. The confusion, just on a regular day, where you will see BPL trucks up and about, you will see Pike trucks up and about, you will see Bahamas Grid trucks Pike up and about, and you will see still BEC trucks, BEC. And who's doing what? People were telling us yesterday that engineers at BPL are now reading meters. Some are happy, some are not. It's a very interesting time in that sector here. And we are literally in the dark on what exactly is going on. We're just told that the deals have been finalized and your power isn't cutting out as much as it used to. So progress. But what do you make of this, folks? This is just, teething problems or signs of
no, it has to be beyond teething for that social media posts have been made. That was pure shade. So we're really, really beyond.
What's a shade or just a reality? Just a fact. These are the facts. We don't know what's happening, and they won't allow us to fix it.
But who was going to blame them in the first place? Like who was going to say, "Oh, this is what the name is?
BGC."
This is everybody says BPL. Who was going to blame them?
No,
so
people would. Because people know, things have changed.
I'm like, BPL is out. Everybody knows BPL.
They were going to get it.
And like the contractual, like what are the policies that govern how they get access to things? Is it carte blanche? Is it like, what are the policies that are supposed to be followed so that they have access? Now, I mean, if we looked across even just the United States, their power was out because of the wind and all that sort of stuff. I saw a lot of Bahamians asking why the power was out. It was weird. It was a windy day. There was a lot going on. So what happened to us wasn't abnormal. However, what I would like to understand is what are the policies and processes that govern the contract? So we've contracted you to do these things, but what are the guidelines? Here are the steps to follow.
I don't know if they know.
That is what creates confusion. As a business, if you don't have those policies and procedures, this is exactly what happens. So when you enter into these sorts of contracts, there has to be, here's the process for A, here's the process for B, here's the steps to take for this. So everybody is aware and functions under that agreement.
Yeah.
And in the absence of that, you have chaos.
Well, sounds like they just talked about that for the first time on Monday. So, boy, let's hear from you quickly. We only have a few minutes in this segment. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning, DeQuesta.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight and DeQuesta. Did anybody tell us did the government come out and explain to the Bahamian people the deal yet? Right? Because I believe all of this is why we have in this problem, because had we had freedom of information, or had the government come out and reveal this deal to the Bahamian people that they are still yet to do, I believe there would have been more clarification on what's going on and why it is going on, right? Because for administration to take a cash cow like BPL, nobody to fight against it when it comes to electricity, and give it away to a foreign company for 60% and say the Bahamian people supposed only getting 40%. All of that is crazy and ludicrous to me. So I believe this government need to come out, clarify that deal, right? And so that we, the Bahamian people, because we didn't know they're not interested in no Freedom of Information Act, the act that will help us to understand a lot of things that is being misunderstood today. We need clarification, but we ain't get no transparency from this administration. So at the end of the day, sir, just ring the bell, and so we can get this matter clear, because too much confusion been happening with this administration for the last 4.5 years, man. You guys have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, I'll agree with you on the clarification. We've been asking for that for 2 years. We really have. But cash cow, those days went out with the power a long time ago. There's not. It's just a debt trap now. And I think I'd be willing to put my pinky finger, that's all, that most people really don't care whether it's 60, 40, whatever percent, as long as the power stays on and it's affordable. And it's not been any of those. So, but the clarification definitely makes a big difference, and we need it. We've been saying that, and they know this. Caller, you got just a few seconds. Good morning.
Good morning, Depressive. Good morning, Dwight. Very quickly here. The previous caller was on to something just now, and I think I'd just like to add 2 cents. Would simply be that cash cow, like you so rightfully said, potentially BPL could have been a cash cow, but our problem is that maintenance, maintaining the stuff that belongs to Bahamian people is something that obviously governments cannot do or refuse to do. And this is why we are losing monies left, right, and center. Our taxes are being spent frivolously on things when if we had the ability to maintain things properly, maybe we would not have been in the problems that we're in today. But anyway, thank you for taking my call. I'll continue to listen.
Okay. All right. So a few messages as we go to the break. This person says here, all is well now with the power entities. LOL. While they are on it, can the lights on the airport road be addressed? You mean which one? JFK?
Straight from Go Slow Bend to the airport.
Well, West Bay too?
Yeah, West Bay,
so
all that area.
All of Western New Providence. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know who's responsible for it. Is it BPL? Is it Pike? Is it Bahamas Grid? Who is it? Whoever it is. Okay. This person says here, bad governments are elected when good people don't vote. Get out of your feelings, fellow Bahamians, and register to vote. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that in a bit. In fact, we'll ask our guest about the nurses in a bit. This person says here, more crackhead games. Dwight, there is deep irony in a dispute among power entities leading to restricted access to Bahamas Grid, while Bahamians are once again left literally and figuratively in the dark as deals are discussed behind closed doors. About the light, the public sees neither consistent power nor full disclosure. How much more must we endure before demanding true freedom of information? We've been doing that one too. Too often, entities arrive with empty hands, leave enriched, our systems weakened, and the Bahamian people handed the bill. Okay. And this texter says here, as far as we know, Pike bought a zero. You're saying brought? Okay. Brought $0 to the deal. We don't know. In addition, we paid them $80 million. How is the 60% share interest justified? Even more strange, in the first year of operation, Focall declared an extraordinary profit, more than they ever made in history. I cannot express how strange this early profit thing is for an infrastructure upgrade, but they've got a lot going on, so I don't know if you can look at it like that. Got a lot going on there. It's not just right. This person says here, okay, yeah, he's saying that a lot. They really want me to read this text. Call in and say it, please. The streetlights on Tawny Coombs Darling Highway have been off for months now. This is a disgrace since the new company took over. Again, we don't know if that is part of that, right? Is it really for them?
It
might be. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, gosh. Anyway, this texter, as we go to the break, says, prepare for high electricity bills. The deal is done. Well, what else is new? What else would be different? I don't think anyone would notice. You mean higher? Higher?
Your electricity bills have been high?
I mean, it's winter, so it's not as high as it is in the summer. But it's not the lowest I've seen in the winter.
Okay, I've
So
been
I don't know.
surprised at mine. They've been very low.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Keep it like that,
Yeah.
BPL Pike or
whoever it
whichever
is.
entity.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
please.
All right, we'll be back. Stay with us. We're going to be talking with the president of the Consultant Physician Staff Association. We've got a lot to talk with her about right after the break.
Stay off my back or I will attack, and you don't want that.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Look at the Bahamas, tell me what you see. A beautiful sunshine sparkling in the sea. A country blessed through all its history. We pause to celebrate our golden jubilee. A nation built on hospitality. Our culture, our people.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. All right, so we're changing gears, and you definitely want to pay attention for this discussion, folks. We're very happy to have with us back. It's been a while, though, but Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sherelle Lockhart. Good to see you again.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so just remind folks about the CPSA, what you all do, who you represent, and differences from other groups within the healthcare system.
So CPSA is the Consultant Physician Staff Association. We are the union that represents the most senior physicians in the country. The consultants in each specialty, each field. And so we just want to be a voice for those physicians. We have junior physicians that are a little bit different from us, and they have their own representation.
Right.
But in order to negotiate with the government, they told us we had to unionize, and so here we are.
Yeah.
So what makes a doctor senior? Because you said you represent the senior doctors. So
Right.
What distinguishes senior and junior?
So we have gone to school to specialize in a particular field of medicine. And you have specialists, and you have subspecialists, and you have super subspecialists.
Okay.
But once you have specialized in a particular field, then you are eligible to become a consultant.
Okay.
Right. And is this correct? The junior doctors only work in the public hospital system?
No.
That's not correct.
That's not correct. So they can get a license from the Bahamas Medical Council to work privately, to work outside, depending on how much training they've had.
Okay. And all senior doctors work privately, or is that not correct?
I
either?
wouldn't say that because, you have some specialties that can only, the majority of them do.
Okay.
Yeah, the majority of them do, but some of them do not.
All right. So we brought you here today because you were in the papers last week and with some dire words. I mean, you basically said that the public health care system is on the verge of collapse. We're on a very dangerous cliff. How bad is it? What's really going on? Is it worse than it's been in the past?
Is it really on the verge? Or has it collapsed?
So I'd like to say that I didn't quite say those words, but we are in dire straits, I would say. And I'm going to say some things that probably would not be popular with the administration, and that might not be popular with the Bahamian people. At the end of the day, as an individual, you have to take responsibility for your health care. You cannot expect for the government to take responsibility for your health care. And so, Bahamian people don't like to hear that they need to, eat a certain way and exercise and rest and all of those things that help with your health. And it just, you have to at this stage, because what's going on in our public health care system is scary, to say the least. We lack resources, we lack supplies, we lack human resources. And there's only so long that the few can continue to keep the seams together.
Wow.
Oh, so is it worse than you've ever seen? Is it as bad as ever, or what are we looking at right now?
To me, it is worse than I've ever seen. So back in the day, because I've been in the public hospital for the last 22 years. I was an intern there. I only left to do my specialization, and I came right back. And when I came back, it was fantastic. I enjoyed working.
Around what time would that have been?
2011.
Okay.
I enjoyed working at Princess Margaret Hospital.
Wow.
I enjoyed going there every day and taking care of sick kids.
Never heard anyone say that before.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed I was coordinator of the neonatal intensive care transport program. Loved it. They called me in the middle of the night for a sick kid in Eleuthera, and I'm like, light this ambulance up. Let's go get this baby. And over time, it wears on you because you think you're going to come in and save everything. And the machinery of the public hospital system, the PHA, the change from Department of Public Health and PHA and Ministry of Health and bringing all those things together, it has worn on me over time. And that's me personally. So I'm sure it's happening to other physicians as well.
So if you were just coming in now, would you think you would have that enthusiasm, or something has changed?
Something definitely has changed. I think because of the person that I am, I would still come in with enthusiasm and try my best. But, the support from administration doesn't seem to be there. And I really have to take some biblical words. Where there's no vision, the people perish. And I feel like we cannot see the vision for healthcare in the Bahamas. And so I implore the government and the Public Hospitals Authority and the Department of Public Health, you need to show your healthcare staff what your vision is. Otherwise, you will never get buy-in from them.
We're talking with Dr. Cheryl Lockhart, the president of the CPSA. So I want you to give us some examples of along the way where you noticed a shift and like, this is different. Oh, I can't believe they're doing this. Or tell us what what do you talk? Give us some examples of what you're talking.
I mean, I think in general, it's how much staff we're losing, and it's physician staff, but it's other healthcare staff as well. Our technicians, our nurses, they're going to find a better life, and it's not all about money. And so the public is always thinking that it's about money. It's not. It's about being respected for what it is that you do. There's some archaic things that we just can't seem to get over. So, for example, in pediatrics, I have some nurses that, went to Canada. They did a special course in neonatology or neonatal nursing. And they came back to Princess Margaret Hospital and they were floated to male surgical.
What? After doing
Exactly.
Why? What was the reason?
There is never any reason.
Oh.
There is never any reason. It just doesn't make any sense. And so, again, what's the vision behind
Right.
that? You have a specialty nurse that takes care of the sickest of the sickest of the tiniest babies, and you're going to send her to male medical? Why?
Has that been resolved as yet?
It's something that's still happening.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! You were telling us a story off air about just something that happened recently. This was what, last night? You said
Last night, yeah. So I'm a pediatrician, so we have littles that do some interesting things. So I had a kid with a foreign body in her nose, and in the pediatric emergency room, I don't have instrumentation to take the tissue out of her nose.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't.
I don't have the tools with which to take the tissue out of the child's
And that's
nose.
a regular thing, that there'll be a lack of equipment and the stuff that you
sir.
need.
And so, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I went to my office and I got the tool to take the tissue out of the kid's nose.
Your office, as in your private practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I cannot sit there and not be able to do something in the
Right.
pediatric emergency room that I can do in my office. It's crazy to me.
We hear stories like that a lot. That there's no gauze, there's no this, there's no that.
How
How
bad,
bad is it? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
It can be bad. I can't qualify for the entire hospital.
Right.
And unfortunately, transparency is something that people do not like. I am not one of those people. I try to be as transparent as possible because at the end of the day, people can understand when you are honest with them.
Right.
What they cannot understand if you're selling them a dream and telling them what you're seeing with your eyes is not actually happening.
Right. Make you feel like you're crazy.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so I can't do that. And so, yes, there are days when we don't have adequate staffing and we don't have the supplies that we need and we don't have the medications that we need to take care of the patients that are entrusted to us. But here's where I'm going to get in trouble with the Bahamian people. Healthcare is not free. It is not free. You cannot come into a public hospital and pay $0 and expect to get the mall-looking hospital that you
Right.
see in the U.S. Those two things do not go together.
Right.
And so when our government decided to, show people that you can do that you can go in the hospital, pay $0 and get the best care. That was where we made the mistake. You cannot. We have to pay something. The money has to come from somewhere. And if you can eat fast food every day, and I speak to parents every day about what they're feeding their kids, and it is fast food every single day. If they can afford fast food every day, they can afford to pay $15, $20, $30 when they present at the hospital.
A further thought behind what you feed your kid every day is knowing that maybe after 30 days they're going to get sick and need to go to the hospital. So think through that, like you say, being responsible for your health and your children's health. Like, it's a no-brainer that if you eat a certain way, you're going to get sick and you're going to need a hospital.
Absolutely.
And so if we're not paying anything, if we're not giving, where are the funds coming from?
Exactly.
So more on this. Some people are paying, but who's not paying? And then are the people who are paying not paying enough too, or what are we saying here?
It's hard for me to tell. I'm not quite sure. I know that in general, children are not required to pay. And then there's this thing about maternity patients not being required to pay. And those are the people that probably should be paying.
But that's not, if you need surgery, are you still not required for for maternity?
I think
C-sections?
minimal.
Okay.
If any. I don't know what the registration process is in detail, but I can tell you that healthcare is not free.
Yeah.
And I feel like in general people think that they can come into a hospital and get A1 care for free, and you're not. It just, those two things don't go together.
You mentioned the mall type hotel hospital that you see on TV. I'm sure you don't have time to watch TV.
No, I don't.
This unbelievable new show on HBO, The Pit.
Okay.
About a public hospital in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
It's unbelievable, and it should be called PMH.
Yeah.
The wait times are 8-9 hours, and it's insane. So this happens around the world,
It
but
does.
is it worse than you've seen or heard about, or what's the difference here?
No, so I mean, the emergency room is a different animal altogether. I mean, there are extraordinary wait times around the world. This is not new or unique to Princess Margaret. That's not the issue at all. It's when you do get seen, are the staff in place?
Oh boy.
Is the equipment in place? Is the medication in place?
Right.
And though you've
Even
waited
if it's
8
an
hours,
emergency.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Because that's the difference. With that, if you're in an emergency, you get seen sooner,
Not necessarily.
but not at PMH.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like you're triaged in the emergency.
Okay.
The sickest get seen first.
Okay. Okay.
And that's another thing that our public doesn't understand.
Right.
They feel like if you come first, you're going to be seen first, and that's not how it works.
Right.
And I have to tell that sad news to my patients all the time. I'm sorry, I have to see the sickest kids first. I can't see you with an ingrown toenail when I have a kid that's having a seizure or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that they don't quite understand.
Right.
So last year I had a nurse sit down, doctor actually, not a nurse, sit down in tears about the fact that somebody died and they could do little to save that person's life. They didn't have gauze, they didn't have this and all that. And when I say distraught, I mean distraught. What factor does that toll on, like your doctor, yes, your nurse, yes, you have training that you may lose people or whatever, but how does that factor into care at PMH in terms of staff morale? Are they nonchalant? Are they, go into their cars to get Band-Aids? Like what's happening from a morale and culture perspective there?
I think the expectation that you continue and you continue and you continue no matter what because of your oath, because of you committing to be a healthcare worker, I think that is what's most difficult because healthcare, in the healthcare field, it is a calling. You cannot get up and do that every day unless it is your heart and your soul. And so it's very difficult for me to answer that question, but I can say that the morale is down. And there's many reasons for that. But I can tell you that healthcare workers certainly feel every time we are unable to provide the care that we have been trained to provide. So when I first came home, there was a child in the emergency room and there were no beds in the ICU. This was during dengue. And she had dengue. And I left my shift with her left in the emergency room because there were no available beds in the ICU. And then I heard the next day that she had passed.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I bawled for weeks. Wow. Because where I came from, at Jackson Memorial Hospital, even though it's a public hospital, she would have gotten an ICU bed and she would have been alive today.
My goodness. We're talking with Dr. Sherelle Lockhart. We're going to take a break from news. When we come back, a whole lot more to talk with you about, including the nurses situation, Cuban doctors, a whole lot more. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back in just a bit.
Everybody's talking at me. me. I don't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:23, it is time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. So we've got a high-pressure system centered just near the Florida Peninsula, or the Panhandle, rather, and that's extending a surface ridge across the country, maintaining stable and generally dry conditions. Moderate to locally fresh winds and cooler temperatures will continue while the high draws in Atlantic moisture, supporting increased cloud cover throughout the day today. So that high pressure is going to continue shifting eastwards into the southwest Atlantic through midweek, drawing increased Atlantic moisture into the area. That's going to support cloudier conditions and milder temperatures across the country as winds relax and become predominantly more easterly. By late Thursday, though, another cold front is expected into the northern Bahamas. That's going to bring a few showers, strong to near gale force winds again, and very rough seas across that area into Friday. The front's going to also introduce conditions once again across most of the country, and that will continue into the weekend. So we've got another few days of the cooler temperatures. For the southeast Bahamas, though, portions of the central Bahamas as well will see increased shower and thunderstorm activity beginning Thursday as troughing develops and from the Caribbean Sea will stream into the region. For today, there's still a high risk of dangerous life-threatening rip currents and rough surf along all Atlantic shorelines and Windward Islands as well, and the public is urged to remain out of the water until further notice. And overtopping waves, sea spray, and coastal debris may continue to impact northern and western roadways. Your forecast for today for the northern half of the country, partly cloudy to cloudy through tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, mostly cloudy today through tonight. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s for the extreme northern islands for highs, and mid to upper 60s for the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence. For the central islands, closer to around 70 for highs today, and the low to mid 70s for the southeastern Bahamas today. Overnight lows tonight, still in the mid 50s for the extreme northern islands, the upper 50s for the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, the low 60s for the central islands, and the mid to upper 60s for the southeast Bahamas. By tomorrow, Wednesday, we're looking at partly cloudy to cloudy conditions for all areas. A slightly elevated chance of rain, about 20% compared to the 10% for today. By Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds for the northern half of the country. with increased cloudiness by most of the country and still elevated chances of rain, especially in the southeast Bahamas. And Friday, a mix of sun and clouds again during the morning hours, becoming partly sunny to sunny by afternoon for the northern half of the country, but still cloudy for the southern half of the country. That cold front will begin moving in by then, and the comfortable, cooler conditions will continue at least until Sunday, Monday. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're ready to refresh your space, head to your local Sherwin-Williams for premium paint, pro tips, and everyday deals that make it easy to get started. And a look at traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. A reminder that paving work continues with East Street South, so again, you might want to avoid the area if you can while they wind down that project. In your real-time traffic, we've got a number of hot spots for you this morning. We've got Milo Butler Highway, as usual, heavy northbound traffic from Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Coombs Darling Highway. Over on Glaston Road, also busy for you. Just north of Fire Trail, you'll see that heavy traffic all the way up to the John F. Kennedy Drive, Bahamar Boulevard roundabout. Over on Blue Hill Road, also heavy traffic both directions near Soldier Road and Carmichael, but mainly northbound all the way up to Independence Drive. And Independence Drive seeing traffic both directions, but especially eastbound this morning to the roundabout with East Street, which is seeing challenges north and southbound, especially north and south of the Soldier Road intersection. East Street's going to see that heavy traffic continue straight through to Robinson Road. And speaking of Robinson Road, we're seeing heavy traffic near Prince Charles Drive and Soldier Road, the Robinson all the way up to Marathon. If you're heading westbound, very slow-moving traffic there. And Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, very heavy traffic for you. Burnett Road and Eastern Road also seeing slow-moving westbound traffic. Eastern Road just east of Fox Hill, straight up to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. And West Bay Street near Saunders Beach, as usual, that traffic at the roundabout with the Providence Highway, heavy for you. And again, east of Arawak Key, heading into downtown there, Nassau Street. Those are your hotspots. That's your real-time traffic. Brought to you also by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. If you need cover you can count on, you can buy motor insurance your way. Stop by your nearest branch or visit nuainsurance.com. Simple, secure, and ready when you are.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Are you a Bahamian college or university student with strong research in an economics, finance, or business-related topic? The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites you to enter the T. Baswell Donaldson Research Competition for a chance to win up to $20,000. Top finalists will also be selected to participate in the Summer Research Seminar organized by the Central Bank. Submission deadline is April 30th, 2026. For more details, email exr@centralbankbahamas.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your number one fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Duquesta Dean on this Tuesday morning. We are having a fascinating discussion with consultant physician Steph Lockhart. You've said a lot so far, but we have so many questions still. Duquesta, off air we had a great, this is really good clarification on something that we hear all the time, but I don't know if people understand what that means.
Right.
You had a great question.
Yeah, so that question is, what does it mean? Because you hear people say all the time, there are no beds at PMH. I go there, I'm in a hall, like on a gurney, whatever. So why doesn't a hospital have beds?
So sometimes it means that they don't have a physical bed for you, but sometimes it also means that there are not enough nurses. So you might have the physical bed, but you don't have enough staff to take care of you in that bed. And so it would be said, we don't have any beds. And so that is our struggle with healthcare personnel. You can't put a person in a bed if there is no staff to take care of them. But what does that cause? A backup in the throughput or the where they come in, which is accident and emergency. You have people in hallways and on gurneys, et cetera, because there's nowhere to put them on a ward.
Yeah. So the staff shortage would be the bigger reason you hear the no bed.
Not necessarily
No?
a bigger, but a reason.
Definitely a factor.
It's not
Okay.
always that they don't have a physical bed.
I know this might be a difficult question, but when you consider beds on the wards, or do you call them wards? What do you call them?
Yeah,
Okay,
wards.
so beds on the wards. Is there a ratio that's defined? So let's say neonatal, your area. What's that ratio of nurses per bed?
So I can't specifically answer that question. I can answer it in general.
Okay.
In that, in the more critical areas, you need more nurses. So they might only be able to take care of one or two critically ill patients. Whereas on a general ward where the patients are not as sick, a nurse could probably take care of 5 patients and, and be safe.
Well, that's a great clarification.
Yeah, I
'cause
don't have a
you know,
specific number,
Yeah.
but in general, that's the concept, the theory.
All right, so you're CPSA, of course, it's senior doctors, but you have to work with nurses.
Absolutely.
And nurses are having issues right now. There was a sick out a few days ago. It might still be going on from what we're hearing. What impact does that have, or did that have on what you all do?
Oh, definitely. That had a big impact on what we do. I'm not even going to make it pretty. We need our nurses. I was not trained to do what the nurses do. I could kind of fumble around and figure it out, and that's what we had to do over those couple of days, but that is not my training.
How bad did it get over the past few days?
For my area specifically, I'm not going to speak to anybody else's area, but my area specifically, I sometimes did not have a registered nurse.
Wow. How dangerous is that?
Very.
I mean, and patients could feel and sense that they knew that something was wrong.
I'm sure. I'm sure that they did. The physicians did the best that we could, and that's what we always do, and that's what each, all in our separate ways, that's what we do. When we come into work, we try to do the best with what we have. The issue is that the general public doesn't necessarily know that we are doing without.
Right.
And so we literally try to keep the seams together every
Right.
single day, but we are doing without.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had a couple of calls over the past few days. People saying nurses, doctors, like police officers, shouldn't be allowed to take part in industrial action. What do you say to that?
I say that, we need to be fair at the end of the day. Nurses, doctors, police officers are human beings. They have families to take care of. And so at some point, you have to stop asking them to sacrifice. At some point, you have to think about, if they can't physically be home with their families because they're out taking care of the general public, then, the least that could happen is that they are taking care of monetarily, with health insurance, with all of those other things that might make their lives a little bit easier.
Y'all don't have insurance?
No, ma'am.
Nurses?
I didn't say nurses. I am a consultant physician.
But I want to know if the employees, nurses, doctors,
Some of them.
technicians,
Some
do
of
they have health insurance dealing with sick people?
Some of them.
I feel the last time you were on the show, this came up, and there was talk, and there was that you were making progress on. That still has not been resolved.
Correct.
Also, the expectation is that you get care at the place where you know you don't have the resources or the tools or the equipment to save your own life, and you must have confidence in that. Okay.
Explain it to those who aren't familiar with what's going on, the insurance situation.
So the consultant physicians do not have insurance that is provided by their employer.
Mm-hmm. So if you get
We
stuck
don't.
by a needle or hurt on the job.
Hurt on the job, stuck by a needle, there are processes in the hospital in terms of employee health. But if you don't want to go to employee health or you don't want to do the entire process, obviously you have to do the initial there so that they can document what happened in the institution or wherever it is you work. But if you don't want to continue your care there, then you either pull out of your pocket or you have your own private insurance. You don't have insurance that is provided by our employer.
And you were negotiating something, right?
It's in our agreement that we signed many months ago. It just has not come to fruition as yet.
What's the update? When is this?
They don't have no money?
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can tell you, and I'm using some familiar words that you guys have heard recently. It's disappointing. I'm disappointed that an agreement was signed months ago. And it has not come to fruition.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you're in the negotiation process, and they say, your employer says that, okay, yes, we have agreed that we will supply you with insurance, that should have already been organized. So as you sign your agreement, you then on board to your insurance.
Yeah.
And many months later, we have not.
Well, you mentioned the word disappointed. The Prime Minister said that about the nurses' action, and we were talking about this off air. He said that around the time when you all were not feeling well.
Right.
What does that do to you when you hear the Prime Minister say things like that?
I don't like that. I think as a leader, you have to be very careful with your words. And I feel like those kinds of words do not spark a good morale. It just doesn't. Are you telling me that I should not fight for what is due to me? Are you telling me that I should just sit around and accept mediocre? It's been too long. And so, no, the healthcare staff not trust you. Wow. We do not trust the people that we work for, unfortunately. And that is a sad thing to say, but it's true.
Wow.
You have to gain people's trust. You have to, speak to them in a respectful manner. You have to come down from on high and hear the concerns of your employees. You cannot be a leader if nobody is following you.
So true. So didn't recently the nurses in New York?
I think that was last week.
Yeah,
were
they did a picket thing.
Strike as well, like actual strike.
Right. And then the newly elected governor of New York, the mayor, the mayor. He actually went and stood with them and said that the nurses should be given what's due to them, right? I know the dynamics are a little bit different, right? The system is different. But you saw that their representative, their government representative, stood with them to say, let's see, give what's right to them. So when we look at the makeup of what we have here, we have a doctor who is the Minister of Health. We have previous doctors who were ministers of health as well. How are they given leeway to render support to the doctors and the nurses in these situations, or are their hands tied?
I don't think their hands are tied at all. I think they can absolutely do what the mayor of New York did. Listen, I am coming and I am standing in solidarity with you. Or, listen, the buck stops at me. This is on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to blame anybody else for this. I'm not going to throw anybody else under the bus. This is my fault. And I'm going to do everything that I can to resolve this quickly, immediately. Yes, the kind of underlying thing is, yes, I think you deserve to get paid. Yeah, you do deserve to get paid because you've already worked for it. That's a given. Anybody off the street can say that. But your Minister of Health should come out there and say, listen, this is my fault.
Yeah. Does it seem to make a difference when you have a doctor as a Minister of Health, or when he's an engineer? Does it not change anything?
Yeah, I honestly don't feel like it changes anything, because despite the fact that they know exactly what is going on, that is not communicated when they reach that higher office.
Mm-hmm.
It's not communicated. It's like they've switched sides completely. Like, you were just in the hospital a week ago.
Wow.
You don't remember what you were fighting for and what you went through?
Or could it be that the allegiance to party is stronger? Because can you really speak out against your own government, right? So can you come on the picket line? Can you speak out against certain situations that make your government look bad? And I think that's the issue that we have here, is that there is a silencing. Because how do you now, as Minister of Health, who is appointed by the Prime Minister of the country, I think that's what happened, right? Come out and say, oh, this is such a dire situation. They see that as someone who is they put a black mark on that person because they speak out against party versus speaking and agitating for what is right for the people, regardless of their party affiliation. And I think that party affiliation handicaps them.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that, to be honest with you. I think party or not, you know what is good for the Bahamian people. And so at the end of the day, you still should be in that position, speaking truth to power. And that's how you're going to get the buy-in by the healthcare staff.
We're talking with Dr. Sherelle Lockhart with the CPSA. Something you said earlier, and I think it would be good to clear that up for our listeners. The Department of Public Health versus the PHA. And they're responsible for different things, but what's what? Explain how this works.
So this split came when I was pretty young in healthcare, and so I don't necessarily understand the reason behind it. Again, I don't see what the vision was, but we have the Public Hospitals Authority and we have the Department of Public Health, which are two completely separate entities. I mean, in my head, I don't even know if they communicate because we have such different management and thought processes, et cetera. I don't know how those two entities work to create a healthcare system.
We had the Director of Public Health on with us yesterday, and he said they are responsible for the clinics.
Correct.
But PHA is only responsible for the hospitals.
So Sandilands, the Rand, Princess Margaret. So it's just very strange.
So are all
these
of
two
those
entities
are the clinics having the same problems that you are?
I'm not 100% sure because I'm not in the clinics, so I really do not know exactly what their concerns are.
Are any senior physicians in the clinics?
There are a few.
Okay.
Yes. And so we have the family medicine consultants that run some of the clinics, like Elizabeth Estates Clinic and some of the
their
bigger
budgets come from the same, do their funds come from the same allotment of funds for health care, or is their budget funded from somewhere else? I'm talking about like the clinics and such.
I think they have two different
budget
budgets.
lines. Okay.
And this goes back to what you were saying earlier about the vision isn't clear on where we want healthcare to go in the country.
Right.
And
so it's hard for me to say because I can't
I
figure
just
out
wonder,
the details
because
of the
I
two of
wonder,
them.
I know a lot of times we see notices, and I think it's PHA, I could be wrong, encouraging people to like go to a clinic versus come to the hospital. And so I'm wondering if the clinics have more resources available, or is it
but
just
they're
the
not
kind
open all the time, right?
It's
Yeah,
confusing.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that even the public is confused by that because it really is about acuity or how sick you are.
Okay.
So there's a certain acuity that should go to the clinic. If you have a cough and runny nose, you should go to the clinic.
Right.
If you broke your arm, then you need to come
Yeah.
to the hospital.
And we
So-
do have a series, to be transparent, like what we hear from most people who aren't. We do have a series with the Department of Public Health, and I know their focus has been on prevention and making sure that you are not sick enough to have to go to the hospital.
Absolutely.
So there might be something to it. But anyway. All right, so I want to ask you about the Cuban doctors and foreign doctors. What impact has what's happened recently had on the hospital and from what you can see?
What happened recently,
In terms
meaning
of what's going on with the U.S. and our reevaluation of our system using them and how they're paid.
So I'm not quite sure about Cuban doctors. We didn't have many Cuban doctors.
They
so
wouldn't be
we
part
have,
of the CPSA.
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Right.
As far as I know, we had some Cuban nurses and we had, I think, like pharmacy technicians, that kind of thing. But I don't think we had any Cuban doctors, certainly not a part of the CPSA.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Wow. And we were talking about this as well, NHI, and there's a lot last year, a lot of people texting in to say, well, it might have been the same person, to say that the doctors associated with the NHI program weren't being paid. The texting has stopped, so I guess that's been resolved, but there are issues.
It seems so from some of my colleagues, not necessarily a part of the CPSA, but my senior physician colleagues who are outside of the hospital. They certainly do express a lot of concern for what NHI is doing and the direction that it's going in and the finances.
So they still have to take patients under NHI if they haven't been paid for like 6 months or a year? Like, can they say, hey, we're stopping this or we're putting this on hold? They have no choice? I mean, as far as you are aware?
As far as I'm aware, once their panel is still available, once they still have space on their panel, people can go online and sign up. And so unless you have like signed out of NHI, and I don't know what kind of contracts they have signed with them, but unless you are not going to be an NHI provider anymore and you're able to get out of that contract, you still have to see the patients that are signing up online.
So what's the excuse? What are you hearing as to why they haven't been paid?
There is no excuse, it seems.
Nobody's saying anything.
No money. What you mean? There's no money.
I mean, they're not being given a
reason.
reason.
Oh.
It just, it's coming. It's always that it's coming.
All right. Now I have another question. Again, not sure your position on speaking to it, but I will ask it anyway. I am so sick and tired of seeing individuals making these appeals to come to PMH when their relatives are ill to donate blood. I think that it's a burden on the patient's family who is already sick and ailing. And yes, of course, we do want the public support. What sorts of programs does the hospital or PHA or whoever have in place to, one, incentivize blood giving or have a continuous stream of, or even education about why giving blood is important so that you are able to get more blood in different ways as well versus just this emotional trauma of having the patient family appeal for blood?
So I feel like they're doing quite a bit with putting out there that we need blood. I think the issue is sometimes how where the blood bank is now. It's a nicer facility than what they were in before, but the operating hours probably are not necessarily conducive to having people come in, and maybe the staffing is not there as well. So I think they are struggling also with staff to manage the donations.
Yeah.
And so the appeals go out. I think it's well publicized that we need blood and where to give it, but maybe the times are not necessarily convenient for people to come and give blood.
Yeah. We probably need to have them on to talk about that in depth,
Absolutely.
what's going on there. All right, so this texter is saying, just putting it out there, NHI providers are still owed 2 months reimbursement.
Sounds about right.
Oh, boy. We are talking with Dr. Sherelle Lockhart with the CPSA. Want to hear from you. We're getting a lot of your text messages. We'll get to the calls in a bit. We have a few minutes left. Before we get to the call, quite a few people asking about it. Undocumented migrants in the hospital, and are they paying, and what impact does it have on what you do, your services, what can be done there?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to whether you're documented or not.
It doesn't matter at that point,
It doesn't
right?
matter to me. When you come into the emergency room, I take care of you just like I would anybody. I don't ask those kinds of questions. I don't go looking for that kind
So
of
you would know.
information. I would not know.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. A sick
Right.
kid is a sick kid. I'm going to take care of whoever walks in the door. And that's just, that should be health care at the end of the day, I'm sorry to say. And so, whatever the government does to stem the tide, that's on them. But whoever's here and needs to be taken care of, that's what we do.
Yeah. Wow. Let's go to the phone lines. You can call in as well. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Before we go, I'm going to ask you about what you think needs to happen, the plan for the future. We'll get to that in a bit, but let's take this call. I want you to think about that while we take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Cousin Dwight. Good morning, Nana Duquesa, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning. We were talking about you off air about the dialysis unit there and how things are.
Well, it looks pretty.
Yeah.
The dialysis unit, on glance, it looks pretty. But there is a lot to be desired at dialysis, a whole lot. That place is basically condemned. It only looks pretty, Dwight. But I have a concern that the question was trying to ask your guests. I have a serious concern with it because it affects us on a monthly basis with the blood. When the family members, when patients are either on the wards or at dialysis and we find out that we need blood, this is what they tell us. And I have a serious problem with it. The only way you can get blood, like the question was saying, is if you call some people or call your family to get blood. A lot of patients couldn't get their family members to donate the blood in a timely manner, and they subsequently died. I know this firsthand. I have a serious problem with that. If you're a hospital, you should have supplies, and if a patient needs blood, you give that patient the blood if you have the adequate supplies, and then you tell them, okay, call in some people to replenish. But they are telling these persons up front, you got to get some people to give blood, you get blood. I don't know if she can answer that question, but I have a very serious problem with that.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Lockhart, have you ever heard that before? Could that possibly,
I've heard that before. I think the messaging is just wrong. I think we are severely short on blood, and maybe the message should not be that you can only get blood if you. They just need to simply say we are absolutely very short on blood at the moment, and we just don't have the supply in order to give you. Could you get some people to donate?
Right.
It should not be a if you do this, then you get this. I think the messaging is just wrong.
Yeah.
And certainly that's not something that I would encourage or like to hear, because it's not the right message.
My goodness. Wow. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, the President. Good morning, Dr. Lockhart.
Good morning.
Dr. Lockhart, earlier you spoke to the cost of health care. I thing I remember some time ago, I don't know whether it was implemented or not, there was talk about putting a so-called sin tax on sugary drinks and whatnot. Do you know if that ever was done? And if it was, does the funds get appropriated to health care, or it goes into that black hole called the consolidated funds?
As far as I know, it was never done.
So I believe the VAT is different. Thanks, caller. The VAT may be still. I don't know if that got changed. The VAT was higher for that was supposed to be. Did it happen? But that was the latest thing. That was supposed to remain at 10% while the other stuff was 5%.
Wow.
But I don't know where things stand now. But we talked about this off here. How much of a difference do you think that would make if there was an actual tax on top of the prices for fast food, for these unhealthy foods?
I think it would make a big difference. The thing is what the caller said. Does that money go into the black hole?
Right.
So that's what scares me about collecting taxes. Where does the money go? And I think, that's my whole thing. I want to see healthcare be a priority because, it's not just cliche to say the health of a nation is the wealth of a nation. That is actually the truth. And so I would like to feel like if we did have a proper sin tax, that it would go back straight to healthcare and not be rerouted to other things.
Wow.
And I think people would be more comfortable with it if they knew that it was going to healthcare. So if the government would be transparent about that, this is how much we've collected on sin tax, and you can see that it has gone directly into healthcare, then I think there would be no complaints. But every time you tax people and it goes into the black hole and it gets rerouted from, what most of us think are important things, then there again, you have lost the buy-in of your people.
Yeah. Do you think that's realistic? We've got some powerful lobby groups here who would fight that to the end. But do you think that we could ever see this?
I would love to see it. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that at all in terms of how you would get that done.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. But, no matter how much money fast food is making people, they need to really take into consideration the detriment that it has on people's health.
Yeah,
and maybe they just don't care. But at the end of the day, we have to, as an individual, be responsible for your own health care.
These things used to be a treat, but now it's every day, three times a day maybe.
Every single day. They pick the kids up from school and they drive directly to one of the fast food restaurants. And it shouldn't be.
I mean, Dwight, you know that I'm a diabetic, and I had a conversation last week with one of my very close friends, and I said to her that if I ate the things that I really wanted to eat, like things that I grew up on, I would be dead, like literally dead, because it would be things that would destroy my body, have my blood sugar crazy. And so when it comes to conversation about individual health, I feel it's important that we become more and more educated about how what we're putting into our body is helping us to be in a position to need the public health system, the services, right? So if you over 5 years just give your kid a bunch of fast food, a bunch of junk, all the snacks that the kids take for lunch, all the Capri Sun and Sunny Delight and all this sort of stuff, like 5, 6, 7, you can imagine doing that for 20 years? You will definitely be in need of a hospital.
Yeah.
So the tax should be non-negotiable. Tax the sugars, tax the fast food places, send the money directly to the hospital system, because eventually the people who are buying these things will be in need of those services. That's a no-brainer.
To you?
It's a no-brainer.
Me, to Dr. Lockhart,
Absolutely.
Sure. But let's take these final calls. We're running out of time. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your panel.
Good morning.
It's something with the doctor to say earlier. I had a question for her, and she gets elaborated on it, now. It does make a difference to us, the Bahamian people, to know that if the immigrants are paying, man, because if you say earlier Bahamian people want health care and they don't want to pay, and like Dwight say, Bahamians does pay, because they pay the $10. My mother had a breast cancer and one was cut off, and she lived 20 years after that, and the heart test is $500 and things, and that my mother pay all her bill. Even if she had bills, she gonna bill pay. But us as Bahamians, to be paying taxes and things, and illegal immigrants coming on boat, and 2 of them coming and they're pregnant, and the health care is free. You can say, like you say, you can't deny them health care. And think, well, you can't deny the Bahamians health care too. We paying the taxes. Just like my son, when I trying to put him in Anatole Rogers, they tell me $150 to register him. And then to the sip, one of my boys is the principal of school. And they say, lady, come there, and they say they let the 2 boys come in free. She said she have no money. So they say, no, you can't deny education. That'll be worse. And they say that, but then you can't deny it to the Bahamian people too. And their husbands, so they're doing 5 yards and 6 yards. They got what type of money they could pay. So us as the Bahamian people, we pay taxes. We got to go up and we pay illegal immigrants coming. You talking about you don't even ask them. You don't care if they got to pay. Well, we care because we pay the taxes. You all have a nice day.
Well, okay, I hear you. The emergency room doctor, that's not the place. Maybe the hospital administrator, that's somebody else's issue. That's, I think, what Dr.
But it's easy to say
right?
that, Dwight, until you're in that position. Again, I reference my own experience in getting sick in the United States without insurance and having to go to an emergency room where I was provided with service without question to my nationality or my ability to pay. So, yes, it is a conversation that needs to happen. We also need to understand that we may be in similar situations when we travel, when we are in need of medical support. So it can't just be black. It can't be black and white. Yeah. But maybe some policies need to exist.
Wow. One final call. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, yes.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi, you're live.
Okay, speaking about, the health of the kids, you, in regard to the doctors, they sell a lot of stuff outside of these schools, okay, that are not healthy. They're adding to, obesity, I think so, right? Is there any inspection of your check to see if there's any inspection for these people having licenses to sell in their car, or even some of them have like these little tents outside of these schools? Are you all even checking on that? Because that also.
All right, so I don't know if
add to the problem. Pardon?
This is again the Consultant Physician Staff Association. I don't that wouldn't, but that's a good point that you raised. Someone needs to be doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know the vendors are vetted by education, but I mean, at the same time, the parents will just go to the grocery store and buy them. So again, it comes down to choice.
All right. So, as we said, we're in dire straits. It's a serious situation. How long, if we are stuck in this, how long do you think before we see things implode entirely?
Not in our lifespan.
I mean, what do you, or is it sooner than we think?
I think so. If we don't make a change. Like I said, I've been in the public hospital for 22 years, and there have been drastic changes over those 22 years. And I feel from my perspective that things have gotten worse. And so if we don't start to steer the ship around very quickly, we're going to be in trouble. The older physicians who came before me used to complain about my generation, saying that, we didn't do it with heart and with gut, and, they complained about us. But I can tell you that the generation coming behind us is not going to tolerate a lot of what we are tolerating and trying. They are ready to come out of healthcare altogether because of some of the strains that we are under at the moment. It's nice and kumbaya if you have all the equipment, all the medication, all the staff. But when you have to do without sometimes, like I would tell my colleagues in the U.S., practice MacGyver medicine.
Oh, my God.
A lot of our new physicians
are
not, a lot of our new physicians are not going to do that. They were trained in a certain way, and they need all of those things in place for them to be able to function. And so we need to make a change. We need the healthcare providers need to see what the vision is in our country. And I implore the government to start to steer this ship in a different direction, because the way we're going is pretty nerve-wracking for me as a senior physician.
Do you have an idea, a plan? Could you see something that needs to change? If they did this, if they did that, this would make a big difference?
I think really and truly it's just getting the buy-in of your healthcare workers. That's where it starts. Because at the end of the day, your human resource is one of your biggest, it's one of the most important parts of the system. And so your human resource from the top going straight down are what is keeping this machinery working. And so we need the buy-in. And so you're not going to get the buy-in unless people see that you have made health care a priority, and this is not about money. And I know people always say, oh, they only care about money. No, it's not about money. It is about making sure that our patients get the best health care. It means we need the supplies, we need the medications, we need the staff.
And I know you've talked about this quite a bit, the new hospital, and how will this address the issues that you're facing at PMH and the RAND. But what is it? Could it possibly help, or is it going to be more of the same?
Anything could possibly do something. But at the moment, I can't see how a specialty hospital for women and children, who are the ones that you're asking not to pay anything or don't have to pay anything, how is that going to help us? And I think the general public thinks that this is a general hospital where everybody can go to. It is not. It is a specialty hospital. And as much as I advocate for women and children because that is my particular specialty, that is not going to help us as a country. That is going to be a place where people are going to come to have babies for probably almost free, and for children to come for almost free. And so how are we going to pay back the loan for this hospital?
Are you going to fund the resources for it?
I don't know. Again, where there is no vision, the people perish. We need to see what the vision is for healthcare in this country. And with a specialty hospital, I do not building lots of buildings with 4 walls and no people to put in them to run them. The clinic in Exuma, the clinics all over the place that are not functional.
No. Which to me are not functional.
Meaning they don't have the staff.
Like clothes,
to function
basically.
them. You have beautiful equipment put into these clinics that have run down over the years because they're not being used.
Crazy.
And so I don't understand what the vision is for healthcare.
And like NIB, if we were required to pay for health each month, everyone who earns a salary, do you think that could turn things around?
It has to be specific for healthcare. Again, nobody's interested in this black hole business.
Right.
The consolidated fund is, to me, archaic. And again, is not going to get the buy-in of your people. If the people knew where their money was going, then they might not feel so stressed in being taxed.
We got about a minute left. The paper was all over the front page last week. Any fallout? Any feedback? What did you hear from the government, the Ministry of Health, the PHA, your colleagues? What did you hear?
So the headline, like I said, was not my words. What was inside the article, yes, I did say, but the headline was not my words. So that being beside my picture was a little disconcerting to me.
Oh boy.
But I am one of those people who I'm not afraid to say what it is I'm thinking. And so I stand by the words that I said within the article. And so the only thing that I said was that the headline was not what I said. And so I'm going to continue to speak truth to power. And when it's time for me to assist in moving healthcare forward in our country, I'm not afraid to do that either. Not afraid to put my shoulder to the wheel and work.
And nobody from Ministry of Health or PHA reached out to you?
No.
Nothing. Nobody said anything.
No. And it's okay. I don't expect them to say anything. It is absolutely okay. I just, I said what I thought about the minister's response and the prime minister's response. I don't think those were wise words that they put out into the public, and they need to be very careful as to who they throw under the bus when the buck stops with them as the leadership.
Dr. Sherelle Lockhart, thank you very much. I mean,
Thank you.
Speaking of disappointing, right? It's been a couple of years, I think, since you were last here.
Yes.
And not much has changed.
Unfortunately not.
It's really very sad.
It's time for a change.
Hopefully the next time we talk, it'll be better.
I
Some
hope so.
Some steps.
I hope so. And I'm willing to be a part of that change in terms of making sure that our membership does what it is that we need to do. And so I encourage my senior physicians to, do what you need to do to take care of the Bahamian people and speak truth to power when you have to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you to the CPSA and all of the doctors with your association. Thank you. We're going to break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean, and we got a lot to talk about this morning, but we're beginning with the RFBEO, their Bahamas Economic Outlook. Very happy RF Regional Event Supervisor Christopher Adderley. Chris, good morning. Great to have you with us.
Hey, Dwight. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Bahamas.
All right, so time is fast winding down for the big conference this year. Remind folks what the BEO is all about.
Time is absolutely ticking away. This conference is the premier conference of RF Bank and Trust, put on every year for the last 15. And we are moving forward steadily to essentially forecast the year for business persons, folks in many different industries that would like an outlook on where we see things going from a business standpoint. And interestingly enough, your entire conversation that I really enjoyed on the way into the office this morning, we do intend also to speak to some of the medical side as well in our panel discussion on the day of. So, very interesting conversation, very interesting points made this morning. And it really gave me some of the interest and engagement with our panel topic coming up at the conference.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now, the medical tourism in the age of intelligent innovation, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell us more about that, what we can expect there and that format, and then we'll get into the format of the whole conference.
So a part of our speakers, we have some world-class speakers, one being, just starting from the top of the list, an executive director at Morgan Stanley, another being a global futurist and host of Amazon Prime's show, The Futurist. His name is Ian Khan. Rich Carlgard, he's a former publisher of Forbes.
We had him on last week. Yeah, he was
You
great.
met him last week, exactly. And, coming from that perspective, Jamie Metzel, being a leading technology and healthcare futurist, and knowing some of the pitfalls and advantages that we have here when it comes to the medical sector. We looked into, what could be a very compelling and engaging conversation for the conference to sort of shift mindsets in a way, that takes us away from maybe a lot of the things that we tend to get stuck, the topics that we tend to get stuck in when it comes to medical, to the medical field here in the Bahamas.
Yeah, wow. All right, so you mentioned time is ticking away. This is next
week, next
My
Friday.
goodness.
We will be, yes, time is definitely ticking away.
Yeah.
So
who go on, Duquesne.
Yeah. Who should attend? Like, who is this conference designed for?
This conference is absolutely designed for all sectors. We have not only the healthcare aspect of it, but obviously the business and economic outlook of it. Varied speakers. I mentioned an executive director at Morgan Stanley. She is what is called a thematic researcher. So it is AI based. We are navigating the surge of intelligent innovation, and we are looking to the future and what all of this advancement in technology and AI will mean for many different industries across the board. So we are looking for, the high level professional, the manager, the C-suite executive, entrepreneurs, business people in general will see, very, very big advantages from attending the conference.
All right. So registration, is there a deadline to be a part of this?
There is a deadline, the conference being on the 13th. We are getting most of our reservations in by the 11th. We obviously want to be able to print name badges and ensure that we are, fully RSVP'd for all the in attendance.
Mm-hmm. And how do you go about registering? What do you need to do?
The website is RFBEO, so that's the RF Bahamas Economic Outlook, so rfbeo.com. There are many buttons there that say register now. You can go ahead and register, and you will receive a confirmation that lets you know that you are all the way in.
Where is it being held? And what's the time again? I don't have that.
It is an all-day session that makes attendees eligible for CPD or continuing professional development credits.
Wow.
There are 5 sessions, so you will receive 5 CPD credits for the day. Starting at 8:30, we have a welcome and breakfast, lunch in the middle of the day, and we are done at 5 p.m. with a networking mixer from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Right, excellent. And if folks are interested in certain portions of it, maybe not the whole thing, is that a possibility, or do you need to come in and get the whole shebang?
So we would appreciate folks staying for the entire day, but we know business moves as business moves, and some duration or for an afternoon session following lunch. But for the most part, we would encourage everyone to stay the entire day.
Okay, all right. And what costs are we looking at for folks to be a part of this?
So we do have group rates for groups of more than 5, and we do have companies that have come in and sent entire departments. Those will be at a couple dollars off, but tickets as they stand are $600 per person. We are doing group rates at $100 less than that.
Okay, all right. Wonderful stuff. And again, the theme is quite special, especially for our times. AI tsunami, navigating the surge of intelligent innovation. So many thoughts on that, but your experts will be there to guide us through all of that.
Absolutely. And it is, like I mentioned, a forward-looking assessment of global and local trends. So you don't have to, the listener doesn't have to worry about maybe coming in and seeing things or hearing things that don't affect them, that they cannot take and use personally. It absolutely will be centered towards, climate and our atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more time, Chris, let people know how to register, the date, the time, all those things they need to keep in mind to be a part of this amazing event.
So the amazing Bahamas Economic Outlook put on by RF Bank and Trust will be held on Friday, February 13th at the Bahamar Convention Center, starting at 8:30 in the morning, and you can register at rfbeo.com.
Okay. Great stuff. After this happens, will people be able to access any of the information? Is that possible?
Recording?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we will be recording.
Okay. Wonderful. Chris Adderley, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the RFBEO, Bahamas Economic Outlook, next week, Friday the 13th. It's going to be a wonderfully lucky day, I'm sure, for everybody. Thanks so much again.
Thanks so much, Dwight and Duquesa.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more of what's in the news, including the Prime Minister's comments on Grand Lucayan. And Prime Minister asked about a fixed election date. Is that a possibility in our lifetime? We'll get into all of that when we get back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Get ready for the biggest football game of the year, Super Bowl 60. We have the best seat in the house for you. Join Star 106.5 All-Star Team live at Anthony's on Paradise Island on Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th from 2 to 6 p.m. Enjoy giant screens, delicious fun food, ice-cold Calig Bear specials, prizes and surprises non-stop. It's the place to be for Super Bowl Sunday. Anthony's on Paradise Island. Watch the Patriots take on the Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
The Star 106.5 All-Star Team will be there to cheer you on from 2 to 6 p.m. It's the biggest Sunday of the year for the biggest game of the year, Super Bowl 60, live at Anthony's on Paradise Island. Don't miss it.
The Patriots!
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. The Bahamian economy experienced modest growth, close to 3% in 2025, with the expectations for 2026 being that the country's growth rate will be similar as the tourism outlook improves this year. That's according to Governor of the Central Bank, John Roll, during the Central Bank's quarterly press briefing. Roll saying that based on the latest available indicators, the economy is estimated to have grown at a slightly moderated pace in 2025, and that growth in tourism earnings supported the outcome, with pricing improvements bolstering otherwise capacity-constrained performance in the stopover market, alongside a sustained and robust output. Roll added that foreign investments also stimulated the economy, and along with tourism, boosted employment levels. He explained that increased bank lending also supported consumer spending and local investments. Governor Roll also saying that commercial banks loaned more than $300 million last year as domestic credit quality improves. Roll says that banks want to see unsuccessful loan requests resolved, though he explained that more and more requests are being approved. He says the Credit Bureau is playing a big part in helping banks complete their assessments of potential borrowers. He said the credit reporting system will be further strengthened when more non-bank lenders and utility companies become consistent reporters to the Credit Bureau. And InvestFest Bahamas has already registered 350 attendees. They're looking to register north of 400, a noticeable increase from the number of attendees the Financial Investment Conference attracted last year. BISIC's Chief Operating Officer Holland Grant, who's organizer of the event, says that last year the conference attracted nearly 300 participants. Last year's InvestFest was a one-day event, but this year it'll be a two-day event starting Thursday at the Bahamar Convention Center. More on that in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Disney has named its park chief, Josh D'Amaro, to succeed Bob Iger as the entertainment giant's top executive. Is the Disney Executive Experiences chairman, spearheading efforts for the company's theme parks, cruises, and resorts. He steps into the position at a time when Disney is flushed with box office hits like Zootopia 2 and Avatar: Fire and Ash. And its streaming business is strong, but the company is also dealing with a decline in foreign visitors to its domestic theme parks, with tourism to the U.S. falling during an aggressive immigration crackdown by the Trump administration, as well as clashes with almost all of the country's trading partners. The decision of the next chief executive at Disney comes almost 4 years after the company's choice to replace Iger went badly, forcing Iger back into the job. And French prosecutors raiding the offices of Elon Musk's social media platform X, formerly Twitter, as part of a preliminary investigation into a range of alleged offenses, including spreading child sexual abuse images and deep fakes. The investigation was opened in January last year by the prosecutor's cybercrime unit. The Paris prosecutor's office saying that it's looking into alleged complicity in possessing and spreading pornographic images of minors, sexually explicit deepfakes, denial of crimes against humanity, and manipulation of an automated data processing system as part of an organized group. It also asked Elon Musk and former CEO Linda Yaccarino to attend voluntary interviews on April 20th. Employees of X have also been summoned that same week to be heard as witnesses. The spokesperson for X did not respond to requests for comments from the Associated Press. And also from France, civil servants will ditch Zoom and Teams for a homegrown video conference system. Soldiers in Austria also using open source office software to write reports after the military dropped Microsoft Office. Bureaucrats in a German state have also turned to free software for their administrative work. Around Europe, governments and institutions are seeking to reduce their use of digital services from U.S. big tech companies and are turning to domestic or free alternatives. The push for digital sovereignty is gaining attention as the Trump administration strikes an increasingly belligerent posture towards the continent, highlighted by recent tensions over Greenland that intensified fears that Silicon Valley giants could be compelled to cut off access. Concerns about data privacy and worries that Europe is not doing enough to keep up with the United States and Chinese tech leadership are also fueling the drive. And financial markets. Closing mostly higher before the opening bell today, opening mostly higher, as more corporate earnings arrive and lofty precious metals recover from recent sell-offs. Global shares surged, led by a nearly 7% jump in South Korea's benchmark and a 3.9% rally in Tokyo that took the Nikkei 225 to a record as investors bought tech-related shares. Gold gained close to 6% Tuesday, while silver's price rebounded 12% following nearly 2% losses on Monday, Their prices cratered on Friday, including a 31.4% plunge for silver. Gold and silver prices fell and uncertainty over the Federal Reserve's pending change in leadership. Many see the stock market as overvalued, and the threat of tariffs and heavy debt loads for governments worldwide have raised concerns. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping benchmark, moving 1,120 shares, closing down 45 cents to 231. Commonwealth Brewery moving 3,000, down 20 cents to 1045. Commonwealth Bank moving 11,500, unchanged at 449. Galena Holdings moving 400, unchanged at 1575. Consolidated Water up 3 cents, closing at 764. And Emera Incorporated down 1 cent, closing at $12.04. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,169.50, down 0.63. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, Morning Blend Business. Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean. All right, so other stories in the issues at BPL. So mixed signals on the Grand Lucayan. The Prime Minister was asked one thing, asked about the Grand Lucayan, and the West Grand Bahama and Bimini MP, Kingsley Smith, also asked about what's happening there. And we got very different answers from them. So what does this mean? Take a listen to this report from our Vonnie Katut.
The Prime Minister says government officials are waiting for the new owner of the Grand Lucayan to come back to them with plans for the hotel. His comments come amid uncertainty over the status of the Grand Bahama property.
The hotel has been sold and the owner is working his plans. And we're waiting for him to come back to us with those plans.
Last week, Davis told reporters they are making steady progress, but it is a complex transaction, sparking further criticism from the Free National Movement. Grand Bahama Minister Ginger Moxie also defended the deal.
The project is moving. Progress has been made, but we have to remember where we came from and how we got here, you know? So the F&M administration acquired that property for double the appraised value. We went in right away to rectify the situation and to work on behalf of the people. And so, again, yes, it's taken a while, so I give you that. But we are working, the project is moving along, and all of the other investments that are happening on Grand Bahama Island happening. I'm very happy of the progress that's been made by this Davis administration.
Last May, the government signed a heads of agreement with Concord Wilshire Capital to sell the resort for $120 million. The sale includes the 56-acre beachfront resort and the adjacent 160-acre reef golf course.
Okay, Arvani to that report there. So at the same event, this was Sunday when the Prime Minister and Minister Ginger Moxie were asked about the hotel. You heard what they had to say. The same
in the works
day,
right?
The same moment. They were right there, all outside PLP headquarters as they were ratifying candidates. Same day, same hour. So the West Grand Bahama MP and Bimini for now, Kingsley Smith, said something very different. Smith told reporters that the PLP has done a lot for Grand Bahama in its 4 years in office, saying, quote, people may say that just because the hotel transaction did not happen at this time, and progress is moving at the airport, they will use that as if nothing is happening. But we all know things can fail. Obviously, we're looking at investors' money and not the government money to do it. Is it just we like to say people misspeak? Did he misspeak?
Maybe he wasn't updated.
Maybe he wasn't updated.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe it's a Freudian slip.
Maybe he's speaking the truth.
Or maybe he's speaking the truth.
Who knows?
And everything is very, very unclear. But we have been told it's a complex transaction. The Prime Minister has made sure we understand that, and that it, this is a quote, it requires careful sequencing, it requires proper approvals,
Right.
coordination, and structured execution. That's exactly how we're approaching it. And you remember he told us that he understands the anxiety that we're all feeling, the frustration and the pace, but the work is getting done. But what are we to make of Smith's
Is it
comments?
sold or is it getting done? Which one?
What do you make of that?
Did the clip
folks?
say it's sold?
Well, that's what it's. Yeah,
That's what I thought I heard. It's sold. So is it done or is it still in the works?
Well, we thought from months ago that it was sold.
You mean
Everybody
last year?
right?
When they had
yeah,
the-
when they had the big event and all the knocking down the portion of the building.
Right.
But what does this mean?
I'm confused.
And normally people would be like, "Oh, he misspoke because we know how this went because right,
Right.
but we don't.
No, we don't.
We have no idea, and there's been little movement. The big ceremony last year. What are we to make of it? What do you make of it, folks? Just a slip of the tongue, or the truth? The truth came out. 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Why can't you just say the truth? Like,
Right.
hey, we
That's what
thought
I
this
was
was
sitting here
happening, but
thinking.
there's a problem and we're working on it.
Just be
and
honest.
Just say, yeah, they don't like this
It fell
part.
through or whatever.
Just say it. Like, this thing is unsellable. My God, we may need to sink it. Say something. Say the truth. Let's hear from you. Caller, what say you on this?
Good morning again, Dwight, and good morning, Nana.
Hi, good morning.
The truth is not in them, Dwight. The truth is not in them. Because, when he came to the hospital for years, Nana Boy been calling in and telling the truth. I was like a voice crying in the wilderness, but everybody now coming forward and saying what the truth is. It's the same thing with BBL. When I keep telling you, I don't believe nothing they say. And it's the same thing. They didn't do their due diligence with Concordville Shire, because Concordville Shire did the United States Air Force when I was there in refurbishing the dorms and stuff and gave for a price. Concordville Shire is a big real estate company in the United States of America. They ain't no hoteliers or nothing like that. They buy real estate for cheap or what they could get it for, and when they're ready, they refurbish it and they sell it over, or they put a little management company in there. The truth is not in them. Thanks for taking Grammy Boy call.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Who do you believe? What do you believe?
Again, it could have been a slip of the tongue. It could have been misspoke, whatever. But it's very, very odd. What is this? Are we making too much of a big deal of it? I don't think so, because we've been asking for clarity for months.
But the people of Grand Bahama deserve to know.
Everybody deserves to know.
So they live there. It's jobs. It's, So what is it? Is it sold and you're moving to the next step? Yeah, it's complex. There's a lot of steps, and say exactly what's happening.
Again, the quote, people may say that just because the hotel transaction did not happen at this time,
What do you
and
mean?
progress is moving the airport, they will use that as if nothing's happening. Now, maybe the key is the word transaction. I don't know. But what? Let's hear from you. Good morning, caller. What say you on this?
Morning to both of you. Excellent show, Dwight, and trying to remember your name.
Duquesa. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. If I were to tell my wife that I sold the car because and I can't show her the money, she would want a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are at the stage in this country where we're being lied to.
Well, okay, I notice a lot of people focusing on the money thing, right? But the thing is, the car is still there.
Like
you
in the
sold
yard,
the car, but it's
still
still there
there.
and it hasn't moved. So
what would your wife think?
Because
of that?
maybe
Right.
the person might say, "Hold it while I get
Right.
my stuff together," but I paid you the money.
Right.
But the car hasn't moved one bit.
I have to show her the money, Dwight.
You need.
I have to show her the money.
You think that'll make a difference?
I have to show her the money because the money.
I mean,
That's the difference. That's it.
why is this car still out here?
The car is sold, but I still have it.
That's fine, but we get the money.
And the car is getting worse every day. Something moved in there and is hatching things.
No, but I mean, the bigger picture here is we are now preparing for an election to reconsider putting these same persons who appear to be deceitful back in office. And I'm wondering if their followers are okay with this. Because if that's the case, then this country's in a very bad way.
Well, the people are also very concerned about the alternatives. Right?
Well, I would rather now try an alternative than to continue with this.
Yeah.
Because here we have
You
individuals
might regret
telling
that.
you, we are not concerned about telling you the truth, not concerned about having you action, which is the truth. So obviously I would prefer to see an alternative than this, but I'm saddened to see that we have individuals who okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are today.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Even more afraid of the alternatives. So we're in a very precarious state. Boy. Caller, good morning. What's your view on this?
Yes. Good morning again, Dwight, and good morning.
Morning.
Wesson.
Hi.
My question is, when did these complexities develop? Yesterday, the day before. Even the Bible says that any man who goes to build a house, he counts the cost, right? If you go into war, you're going to count the cost. We are paying professional people, consultants, people who should be experienced in putting together what they call memorandum of understanding and heads of agreements and so on and so forth. So shouldn't all of these complexities, should have been ironed out before you signed the paper? Didn't you know that there were going to be complexities, Dwight?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that sometimes in real estate transactions, you may have problems with titles and deeds. But this is a government-owned corporation, right? So what are the complexities? Tell us what the complexities are. So everybody could actually deal stand. You know, Mr. Lang always says, tell the story to end the story. Because when you tell
absolutely.
the story, people begin to speculate and ask other questions. And I feel sorry for Mr. Smith because, listen, the PLB man, he ain't getting nothing. But he'll get thrown right under the bus.
Wow. Thank you very much. Yeah.
But what does soul mean? What does this?
To the average regular person, it could only mean one thing. Does it mean something different when the government says it?
I don't know.
Well,
what does sold mean? We got the money, but we're waiting.
No, we don't even know
for the process and legal and this and that to ratify and confirm that it's okay to proceed. Then it's not
but
sold.
There's been doubts about whether.
But then it's not sold. You just
lots of doubts. They can't answer that right definitively that they got the money. That's been from that time. So it's so many things. What's really going on here? Caller, what say you?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, maybe I'll make this one quick because I'm fed up, but I won't give up. There's a memorandum of misunderstanding. And then also, here's the truth. The truth is, the Crest is sitting next to Dwight in the studio. The sun is in the sky, and I'm on the phone talking to you. That's the truth. Otherwise, everything is BS.
Wow. Yeah. It could be me. It could be an AI. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
No, it's you. It's us.
You sure?
It's us.
In the very near future, you will not know. You will not know the difference.
True.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning to both of you.
Hi.
Yes, Alan Johnson here.
Good morning.
We don't have to guess, right? And the question, the word soul is the power. And it's to give or hand over something in exchange for money.
Right.
The government said it was sold. We don't need to redefine the English word. Contortion, conflation is not necessary. But we can go to the owners also, who came back and said that they were waiting on a transaction to facilitate the deal called the airport. And the government of the Bahamas knew in advance that all of the hoopla, you remember the party and the celebration and the jet flying
Who could forget?
all of the people for the supposed to be selling off the property when they did not know the people when they announced the $800 million or $876 million deal. They did not at any given time know or understand the deal when they said it was so. See, what happens is this is insulting to the intelligence of even the most slowest of us Bahamians, okay? The government of the Bahamas has been trying to slam us again. The selling of the hotel, you remember? The building 3 times before he fired the guy that was told to build the airport. I think he's the deputy prime minister. And then it was the purchasing of stuff that didn't mean exactly purchasing. You know, it's like I say this, whom the gods destroy, they first drive mad.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's read these messages. I do want to get to the Prime Minister's comments about fixed election dates. So this texture says here, smoke and mirrors, Dwight. They won't give the truth this close to the election. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. To quote A Few Good Men from the now late Rob Reiner. Hey? This person says here, it looks like Kingsley Smith will get a strong talking to by the PLP chairman, Fred Mitchell, and Kingsley will not get a cabinet position if the PLP wins the next general election. No. Oh, my. This person says, is there a follow-up report based on the claim by Ginger Marks to add double its appraised value? Without improvements to that structure, who reasonably expects full recovery when it is sold to someone else? And that's a very interesting point that you make there. Yeah. I don't know what this is. Someone sent a link. I'm not going to click on that, but okay. So I don't know. We'll hear. There's not been a press statement yet, as far as I know, to explain this one, unless I'm wrong. But we'll see. You think we'll get an explanation? Or
No.
what he meant?
What is history shown?
Well, certain things, press statements come out quickly, like immediately, within an hour. Certain things will take a day or so, and then certain things they'll just forget about it. Just remind them that it's cold outside. They won't remember. But I think the key will come. They're going to make it about this, where he says about the transaction did not happen at this time, right? So that might be the key word there, because the hotel transaction did not happen this time. What did he mean? Transaction meant, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to spin it. I don't know how they're going to explain it, but it's quite curious. And again, about this from the day this big production happened, and yet here we are. Not clear at all.
And that's nothing new.
Well, this gives some credence to what the chairman said last week to PLBs. Don't feel obligated to talk to the reporters because you will mess up and say something stupid.
Yeah.
Or the truth.
Oh, the truth. I was just going to say.
Which one is worse, the truth or stupidness? I don't know which one is worse. But anyway, speaking of stupidness, the Prime Minister was asked about fixed election dates. Take a listen to what the Prime Minister had to say about that.
Well, I have no objection to fixed election dates. I don't, right? But now we're in a season where it is not so. And as soon as we fix that, it will be good.
I'm not laughing, Dwight.
You sure?
No, I'm not laughing,
It sounded
Dwight.
like you were.
So soon as we do what?
I don't
Soon
know
as we
what
get in a position, soon as we fix that. What? Say that again.
You don't want to hear it again. So asked, now this is in today's papers, introduce a fixed election date if successful at the polls. After saying that, because he has no issue with it,
Right.
But obviously it's too late now to do it,
Right.
But he's open to it. So he was asked, so will you do it if you win? Quote, that'll be something for me to consider.
Why is he the only decision maker?
Oh. Well, I do believe this would require a constitutional amendment. So we might have to have a referendum on that, but I think it could be an easy fix. I think that, right? There are benefits to it. A great number of benefits.
Agreed. Like, why we have to be guessing when we go into the polls? Why it have to be based on some whim or whatever? Why can't it just be standard 4th year, 6 month?
whatever it is.
third day, whatever.
And as we said, even though we try to model, we claim we've modeled this on the UK and the Westminster system, but even they have moved away from this nonsense. They have a fixed election date. The Prime Minister can still call an early election, but he would have to get approval of Parliament. So other MPs will say, nope, I'm not prepared to sacrifice myself for your foolishness.
Right.
We vote no on that. Or they might say, yeah, let's do this.
Exactly.
Right? But otherwise, it's a fixed date. And they haven't collapsed. Other dates, and they are functioning, and people know what to do, and you plan your life around it.
Right,
like I won't do this then, and this is that.
Right, you can plan.
But we like this element of surprise, because this
like
works.
chaos.
Does this work? It hasn't worked since
Yes.
1997.
It's because we like chaos, Dwight.
You got a couple minutes. Let's get your view on it. I know somebody texted last week. You didn't get to that text. I saved it, though, because they said, other than the vacation issue, what will be the real benefits of having a fixed date? It would take away the godlike power of the one man who knows.
Exactly.
And to call it for no reason, no justified reason as to why you've called an early election.
But it also gives organizations a better opportunity to plan for their employees to go out and vote. It's so much better for planning.
Yeah, people know, well, you can't take vacation around this time because that'll be the election time and we need you because of the type of business we do. Or maybe you all should take your vacation now because we don't want to get in the election rush. All those things. It will really help to civilize the place.
Right, and then everybody on this particular day, this happens. It just becomes standard. It just becomes, okay, this is what it is versus happenstance.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear from you folks. What do you make of it? Again, the previous administration, the Minutes administration, that was in their manifesto that they were going to do it. They were going to have a fixed election date, and they were going to mandate
why won't they do
mandatory term limits for the prime minister. I believe. I don't think it was for everybody, but they were going to do this, and they didn't do it. Instead, they called an early election, and look what that got them. But here we are. Promises all the time, but when it's time to deliver,
zilch.
Let's hear from you. Caller, what say you? Are you there?
Mr. Strachan.
Hi.
How you do? Morning to you and your guest.
Good morning.
Mr. Strachan, if you go to a car dealer to buy a car through the bank, you're making a monthly payment on that car. Who owns that car? You, the dealer, or the bank?
Technically, it's the bank. Mm-hmm.
So the hotel in Grand Bahama.
Do you think they got a loan for buying the hotel?
I'm
pretty sure they didn't.
I'm just sitting down thinking.
Yeah, we trying to figure out how it
you
got
will
sold.
only hurt your head if you try to understand. Very few people understand.
So the people who driving around in the car that they got the loan from the bank who saying that's their car. Dying the car.
Well, it's
Not
in
that
there.
they pay it off.
They
The bank
are
still has
the
a lien
steward.
on it. Yeah.
They are.
I'll continue listening.
Yeah, but
Thanks.
that is not how this works. That's not how this works at all. And God help us if it did work like that. But no. All right. This person says here, where are you getting this from? Who's saying this? No, I can't read that. This person says here, Dwight, we will have fixed election dates when we have an organized public transportation system. Huh.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's quite possible because the type of government that you'd need for the public transportation system would be very open to a fixed election.
So bad.
So it's quite possible. And I tell you, that is a local issue. If we continue to wait for central government to fix this, it'll never happen. But we need to have real municipal governance here. They will know for a certain date. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, oh, wow.
That's both a positive and a negative. Thank you for giving us the balance. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, boy. Fix election dates, please. It's time to progress as a nation. This should not be solely at the whim of any prime minister. Yeah, that's a text. As long as our leaders are hungry, are power hungry, it won't happen. Sad. Well, it doesn't matter. They could afford to be power hungry. If you want it, if we want it, they need to do what we want them to
they
do.
work for us.
You tell them, hey, you, chief, you come around this house. If you don't push for this, watch and see what happens next time you come around this house. I don't know. I'm not threatening any violence.
No
I'm just
violence.
saying,
That's your vote. That's
watch
your
and
vote.
see how we talk to you the next time you come around this house. Something like that. Make sure they understand this. They don't get it because they think we are clowns. Right? They don't know that we see them as the clowns, but they think we are, that we don't mind, right? When they get on the stage and all they do is dance instead of talk about policies. We don't mind when they give you just beer and when they serve
$3
oh
food.
boy, and a weird t-shirt. Right? They think we like the circus and that we are the circus freaks.
Yeah.
We got to show them who really is the clown around here. DeQuesta
Do we know?
Oh boy, that's another show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be
See
here.
you next
Dwight.
week.
See you next week.
I'll be
God's
back
willing.
tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great next.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Are you a Bahamian college or university student with strong research in an economics, finance, or business-related topic? The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites you to enter the T. Baswell Donaldson Research Competition for a chance to win up to $20,000. Top finalists will also be selected to participate in the Summer Research Seminar organized by the Central Bank. Submission deadline is April 30th, 2026. For more details, email exr@centralbankbahamas.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.